Hey, welcome Brown Bag Bets, daily show, gambling, betting, sports, whatever. Been drinking already this morning, doesn't matter. Noops is out. Matt is in Iowa or some god awful place. Not sure he's out today, so it's just me and producer Dan. But fun week, not only a major week, but we have new guy on the squad. And I bet some of you know Connor. Like he's around the gambling Twitter streets. You've seen him. I don't know if anybody watches Move the Line. You've watched at least 2 episodes of Move the Line because I've been on there a couple times. Like there's some worthwhile episodes of that once in a while. So big football guy, big I don't know what else are you gambling on right now? Is it just football?
Yeah,
Are you
right
are you
now, I mean,
fully pivoted?
yeah, I tail some of your guys' golf stuff. I do I go pretty heavy on March Madness. But yeah, this is kind of like the dead period for me where I tail people who know about the sports that are going on, but I don't do any of my own research on anything that's going on right now.
Yeah, we joked around about that a little earlier in the week because I moved money around and it's always just like, hey, there's a 30% crypto bonus, 5-time rollover. It's like, fuck, I'm like, I was moving some sums where it's like, I would like 30 extra percent just for taking money from one book and putting it in another. So I just been betting my face off with any baseball I can. Like I'm just gonna try to break even with some other people's baseball and get through all these rollovers. And I've done it. I am through. I made it through
Really?
like a sadistic amount of rollovers at 4 different books. So we're there now. But now I'm addicted to betting baseball every day. So I'm not going to stop. I'm probably
What
just,
do you bet? Like pitcher props, or do you bet run lines, or just everything?
oh, I just tail a couple people.
Okay.
Just like these are people that are getting good enough numbers. If I can get their numbers or better, I'll probably like break even as the worst case scenario. I'm up on baseball over the last few weeks just with some just sides and totals. Nothing fancy.
Wow.
I do like some props. I like K props, but yeah, Drew and we did a baseball episode or a props episode, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, and we were going to come up with some props to bet. Mine was going to be home run bets, which would have just been horrible because the ball is dead. Maybe not the ball is dead, but just the humidity hasn't been up, and a combination of this, that, and the other thing. There aren't any home runs compared to previous years, so the prices for yes are probably horrid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Not as
think
big
you're
to
you're
know.
yeah, I think you're right. No, the ball has is dead, and they don't know like which part from like park to park, which
Yeah.
which ones they're using the dead ball and which ones they're not. So it really messes with the hitters too because they have no idea what ball it is. So they hit a ball that they know in their heart of hearts is going to be a home run in most places, and then it just dies. And like you said, yeah, I mean the weather finally starting to get warm, at least here in the Northeast. We're finally starting to get some warm weather, so I'd imagine we'll see some home runs starting to get hit. But yeah, that probably not your would not have been your best way to
Yeah.
go.
No, for sure. But it's funny too. Drew and I will be doing some football next week, as we've had just a mismatch of every other kind of sport. We've talked hockey, soccer, tennis, baseball, basketball, plenty of basketball. Just
Horse
haven't had
racing.
much horse racing. We haven't had much football, which it just there's that little bit of a dead period between the draft and when you actually start firing. And now everyone's got regular season win totals. All the props are up. Player season long player props are up. And I guess I haven't even got to sit in a meeting with you yet, Connor. What are you gonna do here? Like, is
Um,
there do you got big plans? What's going to happen now that you're full time employee of BetSperts Media and Technology Group?
Yeah, so I'm running social for 4 for 4. I didn't realize how many tweets we were sending out per day, but that's a pretty hefty undertaking as is. And then getting up like a lot of our betting tools and tables, like writing text for that, and then just kind of cranking out content and kind of finding a good direction for us to keep getting some people in the Discord and making winners there. So I think that we're at a good spot right now, but I mean, we're way ahead of where we were last season, so I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, no, you missed that, or maybe you were in the big meeting last week. But yeah, the 4 for 4 doing good this year. Not that like you ever did bad, but 4 for 4 is doing well. It's exciting to see how many people are in that damn Discord. I'm getting to learn Discord. I'm glad we had to learn Discords because the one Slack chat I really loved moved over to Discord. So now I'm a little more used to things. What just move the line is going to be regular now? You're back to every week, or what's the
Yeah,
plan?
we're going every Wednesday. Me, Noonan, and John Daigle, just kind of chopping up some of our favorite bets. We just recorded a show last night, looking at the schedule, strength of schedule from a few different perspectives, like rest, win totals, things like that. And had a few good takeaways. I thought that'll be pretty useful in the season.
What's just to give a taste? What is one good thing from the schedule that you guys kind of took away from it once you kind of were able to analyze everything?
Yeah, I mean, I guess one big thing for me is that the Chiefs just have played an absolutely brutal schedule, like the hardest strength of schedule by opposing win totals in the league for sure. I mean, just even before, like their start of the season is Arizona, Chargers, Colts, Bucks, Raiders, Bills, 49ers. I mean, they, even with them losing some pieces as well, like I just think that they are really in a tough position to continue winning. 10.5 win total. They also have a back-to-back-to-back road game scenario after that, and there's Cincy and Denver in that back-to-back road game, and then Houston's at the tail end. But still, I mean, they are really set up to fail here, even if they have like kind of a good year, all things considered, with their roster. So I guess that's one takeaway for me. That was just not. They're really going to be in a tough position this year.
And that's the funny thing about shitty teams in the NFL. It ain't Citadel. You can't just write it like, hey, Bama's going to win this game, or, a Big Ten team probably going to beat a low-end MAC team in the preseason, or whatever you want to call it, before the conference schedule. Like, even the worst teams in the NFL, like, those games turn into coin flips in a hurry when it turns out to be in a bad scheduling spot. They're on the road, and, anything can happen between here and there. Like, Houston could be a team that just figures it out a little. They have a couple good receivers now, and like Mills isn't horrible. Like all of a sudden you're looking at kind of writing some of those Houston games in as wins. You get to the season, be like, fuck, we're a 1-point favorite on the road here, and we're supposed to be a damn good team. What happened? And I mean, shit happens is what happens with the NFL season. Find that every year. I bet an alt under 2.5 wins for the Bengals last year. They won more games than that in the playoffs.
Yes, my favorite story is that I had a basic concept of most of gambling things before I started working at BETSPERTS, but Dutching was something that Andy had to teach me. And the lesson Andy taught me on Dutching involved Bengals alt unders last year. So I at least learned what Dutching was. I don't think that really went particularly well for Andy, but like, hey, I learned something, so I'd consider that a win.
We didn't pay any vig, so whatever. It's. I think I ended up winning on regular season win totals. The Chiefs one got a little dicey. Like I needed that one extra loss at the end that finally got home. That one was looking good at first, but then they kind of rattled off some in the middle. I'm trying to think what the Washington. They were still the football team last year. That under was pretty beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Raiders one I lost. It was like one of those where it's like I went 5-4, but most of them were at plus, like plus 105, and just I picked up like 0.8 of a unit. It was a pretty good year. I'll take that all day long. But yeah, most of the time, Connor, we do it's daily pick show. It's kind of in the dead part of the year. Like Monday, we didn't even do a show. The Noops was gone. Well, there was no NBA, no NHL. It's like, man, can we really do a show with like almost no sports today? So we did tell Connor to come prepared with a pick. It's not for today because he's an NFL guy, but he's kind of in the same boat I am. I'm just starting getting my head wrapped around all the schedules, the strength of schedule, the possible funny scheduling spots, bringing in new faces, new coaches, rookies, departures, figuring out new schemes and shit like that. And it sounds like I'm behind you, but you had one you liked today.
Yeah, something that I actually took yesterday and wrote up in our 4for4 Discord. The Eagles to win the division, plus 275 at Caesars. I mean, I think that they had the best offseason of any team in the league. They crushed the draft, added Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, and then obviously traded for like alpha wideout like AJ Brown. I think that he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. They also signed pass rusher Hassan Reddick in free agency, and then recently just signed cornerback James Bradbury. So I mean, their defense last year was 25th in DVOA. I expect them to be like at least top 15 at this point. And maybe even top 10, flirt with those numbers. And then now their offensive line is the top ranked pass blocking offensive line per Ben Baldwin. Their pass catchers, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. Jalen Hurts is just very well set up to succeed here, and I think that if he doesn't, it would be alarming. And obviously,
Yeah.
they'll try and move on. But I think that like kind of looking at their schedule too, like they have the second easiest strength of schedule. They're only underdogs in 3 of 17 games this year. So I mean, I think they're in a great spot here, and at plus 275. I mean, I think there should be closer to like plus 175 or plus 150 because Dallas had like a decent amount of drop off in talent as well, losing Amari Cooper, Randy Gregory to some contract issues. So yeah, I like them down to like plus 200.
That's kind of a team. That's a team we've lumped onto a little too. I think we liked them last year, and it just didn't work out. And something you didn't even mention that's going to help is like we don't know this for sure, but I'm going to assume they're going to be healthier than last year.
Oh yeah,
like they didn't get talked about in the same way as like Chargers teams in the past, and maybe like the 49ers 2 years ago or the Ravens last year, but they had a shitload of injuries. Like they got hurt a bunch. And there was a bit of a cluster injury here and there where it's like they're missing several linemen on both sides of the ball. They got hurt in the trenches a couple times where it's like they're thin right now. It's hard to win with missing multiple players from a positional grouping. So yeah, if they stay healthy, they're super live, which I enjoy. It's fun to. I don't cheer against teams just because I hate people, but I'll cheer against Dallas. Unless I've bet on them, I'll cheer against Dallas all day long.
I mean, if I bet on Dallas, I'll probably still cheer against them. Where do you come down on Sirianni, Coach of the Year? If you think if you have an Eagles to win the division bet, where do you stand on a Sirianni Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I think that's actually like a great long shot way to put it. It's 25-1 right now at Caesars, 20-1 at DraftKings, and 20-1 at FanDuel, I believe. So it's I think that anything above like 15-1 is great value because if they win the division, Coach of the Year is about not only you have to exceed expectations, and so I think winning the division would kind of do that for the Eagles, and then you also have to win 10 plus games. It's like every Coach of the Year the last 20 years outside of Bruce Arians' interim season have won 10 plus games. So, I think that he fits those two kind of, standpoints there. And I think he's very much live if that happens. So I've also played that as well and think that that's kind of like a better long shot way to play this as well.
I love a good long shot. I'm such a donkey. I love a good long
shot. I just like coaching, or I just like awards markets. Like when you hit a couple of those, you get addicted to them.
Yeah.
Like it is, I had some bad, I've had some bad beats over the years. It was Mac Jones twice now. It was Mac Jones Heisman at like 25-1, and then Mac Jones Rookie of the Year at like 20-1. Like both of those were heading into the final weeks looking pretty good and got wide receivered. I'm trying to think what the other bad one was. I've had some coach ones that came close, but no, I'm on you with the Eagles. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more this year as NFL rolls around. I'm always looking for good, especially since you work here now. It's not even like an ask anymore. It's like, hopefully Connor can make something. Like, no, I can go look at Connor's I can go look at his schedule. I'm gonna go look at his Google Calendar right now, see if he has time. So
I'll be having open office hours, for talk any bets. So
this is great. Great to get some more guys in there, and Connor's somebody obviously we've talked to before, but it's awesome to have you full ass on the team now. I'll let you get back to your NFL research, golf watching / whatever else you do on a Thursday. Appreciate you hopping on with us, Connor. Have a good one.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you guys for having me on. Talk soon.
And we joked about NHL, NBA, but man, I ain't got no bets for that.
Yeah.
We're not Noops. We're not Matt. I will say somebody put me on the Tyler Hero prop again. My guy Darren. So I've just been betting Tyler Hero over 2.5 assists at a decent price. You can find like under 130 on that. I'll bet that again. That hit in the first quarter in game one. And we're looking pretty much at the same kind of situation. So I'm fine taking that again. So that is my NBA bet. And then
there you go.
Patrick says Avs puck line. So look at that. We have an NBA and an NHL bet. Who would have thought?
I love it. I don't have anything to add to either of those sports today. I mean, no sense of what to expect. Figure Boston a little bit more competitive over 4 quarters tonight, and then the hockey, who knows? Just hopefully like fun and a lot of goals like in Calgary last night.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have games like that on the regular. That shit was like, and I asked Twitter because I'm like, sometimes things I like people like hardos don't like. You know,
Mhm.
there's people who don't like a baseball game with like 30 runs in it. Oh no, it's dumb. Like the balls are juiced and the poor pitchers. And I asked, and everybody, you know, some respected hockey watchers, handicappers now, they're like, no, this is awesome. This is fine. Like, I can live with this. So that's good. I'm glad fun hockey is still fun to those guys because the other
And
game was a snoozer till overtime.
yeah, and whichever of the Kachuk brothers, I think it's Matthew Kachuk who plays for the
Yep.
Flames, taunting Evander Kane, who had to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
They got into a scrap, and he was, "Do you need some money? Like,
Yeah.
give me petty." It's a real rivalry. Like that's all you can really hope for this time of year, and it was great. And I just wish those games were earlier. And I was like, maybe I'm going to throw the third period on here, and then completely fell asleep and woke up, and it was like, well, Calgary won 9-6 in a hockey game, and the playoffs is pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a lot of damn goals. I know somebody in one of the chats early on asked, like, should I be looking at an under? Like, is this gonna, you know, they switch goalies, and somebody, I think it was Smitty who, you know, we had on the deep dive the other day. He's like, I wouldn't do that. He's just like, I wouldn't bet anything that ends in "der" right now.
Yeah,
which was
not.
It turned out to be pretty sage advice because the total at that point was like 10.5.
Yeah,
it kind of got away from there. So
for sure.
What are you betting on today, Dan?
Well, it wouldn't be an appearance for me on the show if I wasn't betting some soccer. Big game, a couple of actually big games in the Premier League with relegation implications today, as both Burnley and Everton are in action today. Burnley on the road at Aston Villa. Everton playing at home against Crystal Palace today. Everton, if they win today, they will be officially safe. They'll be 4 points ahead of Leeds with one game to play, so Leeds won't be able to pass them. So it's a big game for them. And if they don't win this game today, they're going to have to go to Arsenal on Sunday and get a result against a team that is technically still in contention for the Champions League. So this game is massive for Everton. The fans at Goodison Park have been great the past few games for them, really spurring them on. They're also without a couple of guys. They got 2 red cards in their last game against Brentford, so they're down a couple of guys. They have some injury issues, so they're going to be a bit shorthanded. And Crystal Palace is a team that's just been feisty this year. I think they've only lost like 2 games in their last like 14 or something like that. They're on a 4-game unbeaten streak. They're a tough team to beat, and they're 6th in the Premier League in XG differential. So Crystal Palace is tough. I think they're going to be able to score in this game, and even though Everton's a bit shorthanded, I think they're going to be able to at least get 1 goal. I have no idea if Everton's going to be able to win this game or what's going to happen, but I would expect both of these teams to score. Was a little surprised both teams to score was plus money at FanDuel. So yeah, I threw a little bit on the both teams to score in this game at plus 102. I will also, because I can't resist long shots, Wilfried Zaha player props for Crystal Palace goal scoring. It was, I think, plus 350 anytime, plus 850 first goal scorer. He's in good form, 8 goals in his last 12 for Crystal Palace. So 6 of their last 9 road games, both teams have scored, and I think both teams have scored in 8 of the last 9 games these 2 teams have played at Everton. So yeah, I have no idea what to expect in this game other than something probably stupid, and I expect to see both teams score. So if I can get a prop at a little bit above plus money, or if I can get a little above a plus 100 here at plus 102, I'm going to take it.
I'm down. I'm looking at the games that matter to me. I want Brentford to finish top half, even though I didn't bet it. I don't think Leicester loses to Southampton at home. Or maybe, is that a road game? Oh, shit, Leicester has 2 games left. Lose Chelsea and Southampton. Probably lose to Chelsea. Southampton likely.
Chelsea is on the road. Southampton's at home.
It's still. So
however,
you probably get 3 points out of those 2. Brentford only has 1 match left and needs one of those 2 teams to lose. Brentford likely beats Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
Need Leicester or Brighton to drop a game, and it's probably going to be Brighton. Brighton only has 1 match left, and it's against the Hammers on the road. So that's probably my look is Brentford. Maybe I'll parlay that so it'll probably pay the same goddamn odds as if I would have bet them to finish in the top half. If I parlay Brentford straight up to get the 3 points and then Hammers as well.
Yeah, for Leicester, Southampton has been kind of in vacation mode. The only time that they play well is when they play good teams. Like they really pushed Liverpool the other day and they beat Arsenal, but like I wrote about it for our betting for one of our sites, and it was like they've lost like it's now 8 of 11 games or something like that. Like Southampton is definitely like they got safety and they were like, we're done, we're good. We're not going to go to the Europa League or anything like that. We're not going to get relegated. We're just going to take vacation early. So if you need Leicester to drop that game, probably not super hopeful that that's going to happen. But Leicester's been really bad defensively lately, so who knows?
I like the teams that are just like fine being in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
There's nothing wrong with that. Newcastle never really threatened to be relegated this year, and the way that things have gone for them the last several years, totally fine with that.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah,
I'd love to finish 13th. That's great. Little golf for me. Not a lot of my golf has started. Apparently, a lot of my bets were in the afternoon. Actually, I got some full matchups that haven't started yet. My one full tournament matchup that has started is up by 2 strokes because Sepp Straka hasn't started and screwed it up yet. So Matt Jones +2 through 8, losing to Straka. And then I have 2 matchups that went off. They're both about, a little over halfway done. Kirk over Horsfield up by 2, and then Mito over Carlos Ortiz. He's up 4 strokes in that one now. That's nice. He took a little bit of a lead.
Carlos Ortiz was, I think, dead last earlier at one point today. I think he
started a little rough. None of my outrights are above par or below par except the leader, Rory McIlroy. So I do have a Rory ticket. The rest of them are either +1 or +2, and Cam Smith, Jordan Spieth, Hideki, and Samuel L. Burns. I have some little first-round leader tickles that aren't going to do much of anything. But today, the rest of the ones, I'll give you some freebies. These went out in the Slack yesterday. I'll even tell you where I bet these, just if I pull up the right tracking sheet here. So off the top, Shane Lowry, guy I love. I almost bet him outright. Brooks Koepka, I talked about him on a couple podcasts. He hasn't putt well, and some of his approach stuff is shit. He hasn't hit greens and regulations like he normally does, but it's a name. He's a really big name, and he gets some respect. Even so, Lowry is a -127 favorite, and I make it a lot bigger than that. So Shane Lowry over Brooks Koepka, that was one that was available at BetOnline/Lovig. In fact, I think it was a bookmaker as well. None of these, the best price was at bookmaker for the most part, the ones that were at both, which made me feel nice. Another one, Corey Connors, somebody I really like here with the ball striking over Kokrak, who is 1 foot in the desert at this point. And just, more than that, Corey Connors, I have him much, much better ball striker right now, and his all-around game as far as course fit. So -129 there. Cam Champ as a dog to Webb Simpson was a little puzzling. Webb Simpson kind of fought some injuries. He hasn't played all that well this year. Getting Cam Champ at a dog price felt pretty good. That was +103. That one and the Corey Connors ones I did bet at BetChris/bookmaker. And then my guy, the happiest guy on tour, Harold Varner III, laying a half stroke over. Again, he's one of those, like, he accidentally is get invited to the cool kids party. Like, he might go to the desert. Ricky Fowler, he top 10 last year.
He might not have a choice.
Yeah, he's ranked like 150th in the goddamn world. He's only here because he had a good result last year. He lucked himself into a top 10 here. Hasn't really had top 10s anywhere else. So he is in the field, and he's another one where it's like he's a recognizable name, but he's not playing very well.
Yeah.
And AC says, damn on the cock. I don't know if that means he likes coke. We always call him cock rack.
Yes.
If he likes the coke, well, that's not good either, too. That's the drugs.
Yeah, there's really not a good.
Let's call him Jason.
Jason,
but that's a killer from a movie.
Yeah.
Just nothing good about this guy's name, and hopefully nothing good about his golf game today either, because Corey Connors, I heart Corey Connors, getting it done. Hopefully it's going to be interesting, though. Like I said, I'm giving these out because they're afternoon tee times. It could get pretty windy for the end of some of these rounds, so I'm not super excited about betting a lot of these. Hopefully, just I should go look at Apexes and see ball flights and see if I can bet on some guys in the afternoon who hit a little lower. I know I wasn't excited about Matsuyama's ball flight with the wind. If he does have a decent tee time, but yeah, we'll soldier on. Hopefully, Rory starting hot leads to a win. He never starts hot. Never starts well in a major anymore. He has won one for a long time, 5 years, I think.
Since he last won one?
Yeah, it's at least
8 years, 2014. And since he last won the PGA in 2014, he has 35 over par on Thursday and 68 under par in rounds 2 through 4. But AD in one of the Slack chat or one of the Discords now, excuse me, AD made a good point that like when was the last time Rory wasn't a million shots back in rounds 2 through 4? Pretty easy to play, loose and free. And another stat for you that I thought was really funny today. You talked about Cam Smith. Will Zalatoris first in strokes gained putting so far, and Cam Smith 71st out of 78 guys on the golf course in strokes gained putting. If you ever wondered like why you probably should never bet on golf.
Yeah, it's like the first half team that shoots like 9 of 12 from 3, and then Drew puts a tweet out that says this is totally sustainable. Just like Zal putting, and it is slower bent grass. It's fine. It is going to be easier for some of the guys who aren't great at putting, but I don't know. Have fun. Yeah. Have fun trying to keep that up for 4 rounds, Mr. Zal. And I like the guy. Yeah. I don't have an outright on him, so I don't want him to do that well.
Exactly. I'm with you.
And with that, let's thanks for stepping in today, Dan. Noops will be back tomorrow. We'll talk some heavy NBA stuff. And
man team horse?
Man team. I don't know if I'm ever betting horses again. And yeah, Saban's going on XM radio here in at 4:30. That might be worth listening to today. Yeah. So, all right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good first round of the PGA Chip.